I guess, what are your memories of your matches with Brock Lesnar?
Um, I remember when Brock came in, and I remember like Vince and one of the agents. I remember telling me, this is kind of when they were starting to get to the point that I'm the guy you communicate with Jeff and I. Like, he said, okay, well, we're going to have you guys working with Brock, and we really think Brock's going to be a big deal. And we want you to go out here, we want you to help him, we want you to make him look good, we want you to teach him all you can. And if you're willing to to give yourself to Brock to help us establish him, we'd really appreciate it. And they kind of explain what they want to do with it. And I remember every time we do something for Brock, I remember he gave me the F5 on the stage one time, which hurt like shit. It was a brutal bump anyway. But I just remember after Brock was just so thankful afterwards. Oh my God, thank you, man. That was so great. If there's ever anything I can do to pay you back, I will. Thank you guys so much for helping me, and you've been so easy to work with. And thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was full of thank yous. I remember the one night where he was in the ring where he did a spot where he jumped us the week before. I think this week he maybe jumped us again. I don't know if it was the first week, but he jumped us in the ring. Did something, I think, where he pressed Jeff and threw him on me, and we ended up coming in with chairs. And it's when we crushed him with 2 chair shots back to back.
I remember.
And I remember being in the back and Brock saying, okay, now, whenever you come with those chairs, make sure to lay them in. He said, I want them to look good. And I was like, don't worry.
All right.
Are you sure? He's like, yeah, lay them in, lay them in. I said, oh, don't worry, I will. Because I'm like that too, man. Like, I can get aggressive out there. And I remember we blasted him with those 2 chair shots, and he like fell in the ring. I just remember walking back and just he had this look in his eye where you can tell the guy's really fucked up. And I remember we got in the back and he's like, oh, thank you. I said, were those chair shots okay? He said, yeah, I think they were. Were they okay? I don't really remember. He really didn't. He didn't remember them, but we knocked the fuck out of them. And I remember mine was like really violent and vicious. And I remember there was a little debate between Jeff and I, like who should go first. And because of our positioning, we were going to let me go first and Jeff second. I was like, well, dude, I mean, really, typically, Jeff, my chair shot would always be better than Jeff's, typically, because Jeff's just not as of a violent person or a violent performer like I am. Jeff's a lot more graceful, does a lot more aero stuff. And I remember there was a debate. I said, man, I should probably go second because after I give him that chair shot, man, I don't know if yours is going to be able to follow. Jeff said, oh, it will. And I blasted him. And I remember Jeff hit him like square in the face, and it was so loud, it was like a shotgun. I was like, holy fuck. I've never seen Jeff hit somebody with a chair like that. And he was right. He was definitely ready to follow up. But it's ironic because later on down the line, when I was doing well for myself on SmackDown, and I was Matt Hardy version 1 Sensei of Attitude, Brock and I had this little 2-week angle on TV. It's right after Big Show had screwed him out of the title, had Paul with him, and we built up this little TV main event. And I was getting a pretty good push at this point, and had a lot of juice behind me. And I remember I was working like a main event with Brock. It was like a 12-minute match. We were live on SmackDown. It was one of the SmackDowns that were live. I remember we had a really good match, and they said this is going to be a pretty competitive match. In the end, Brock's going to win F5. And we had our match all worked out. And I remember Brock kept coming back during the course of the day. He's like, no, you're getting a little too much. This needs to come out. So, okay, that's cool. He says, we need to change it as so-and-so because that makes me look weak. And I just remember in my head, I was going, what about, motherfucker, when you said you make sure if there's ever anything I can do for you that I'm going to help you. Thanks. Because that was a big change in Brock. Over the years. It was just like, at this point, he'd been the champion, and he was the top guy, and he could have really helped elevate me there by going out and having a good match and hanging with him one-on-one, and he kept trying to cut my shit out, right and left, man. He's going, oh, I don't know, man, it kind of makes me look weak. I don't think you should do that. You should do this. And that was also when we did an angle before where Big Show was in the ring doing a promo with Paul Heyman, and Brock was coming out, and I was going to blast him with a chair from behind before the match ever started. And I was pissed off at Brock already during the course of that day because he was trying to cut my shit out during the match. And it was supposed to be a big night for me, too, because I was supposed to be having a competitive match with him. And then Brock's ribs were fucked up. If you remember that, he had, like, cracked ribs for the longest time. And he just said every time he was real grouchy. He's like, almost like it was a trouble to have a match with me that night and, like, give me spots. And he was like, well, make sure, don't hit me in my lower back. He said, I don't want you to hit my cracked rib. Make sure you hit me high on my back. I said, okay, that's cool. He kept saying, don't hit me in my lower back. I was like, all right, okay, motherfucker, I won't. And when I came out, and I was running as hard as I could, and I swung that chair as hard as I could anyway, because I was going to lay into him. And I caught him with the lip of the chair in the back of the head, and I split his head open to the skull. It was brutal. And it knocked him silly. We threw him in the ring, and we did a little thing where we worked him over, and he was going to fight out anyway. And then our match was like, there was like a short segment in our match after that. And then he fought his way out, and I remember coming to the back, and I remember telling Shannon, like, I fucked him up. He is not going to be happy. I got to go out here 12 minutes with Brock Lesnar. I know he wants to kill me. And I just remember him coming back through Gorilla. He was like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? And he said, what the fuck? I should kill. And he was just furious about everything. Blood was running everywhere. He said, why the fuck did you hit me in the head? I said, man, I'm sorry. I said, I apologize. I didn't mean to. I said, I was just trying not to hit you in your ribs because I knew they were fucked up, but I fucked up, dude. I did that. And Vince had done that same thing to Steve, and like the exact same scenario where he was running into him in the back of his head, and he cut his head too, which guys typically do that a lot, especially if they're trying to hit high in the back. And I remember Vince just told Fit Finley, he said, "Fit, calm him down."
Huh.
And I remember he said, "Matt, you okay? You okay to work this match?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'm perfectly fine. No sweat, it's cool." And I remember Shannon came back there, and our first spot was like, this is when I was using Shannon as the MF, our first spot was going to be like, we both kind of stopped, and Brock was already in the ring, and I was going to look at Shannon and go, okay, on the 3 count, we're both going to hit this ring and take this motherfucker out. And then we were going to start running, and I was going to stop and let Shannon run in first, and Brock was going to nail him. And I remember we came back, and Shannon saw how mad he was, and Shannon like had that look in his eyes. He said, "Do you still want to do that spot this thing where I feed in the ring first?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, you go in first, man." And then we came back there, and Brock was furious. I didn't even talk to him that whole while. And I told Shannon, I said, "Dude, we're on live TV." I said, "I don't know what's going to happen." I said, "If I have to fight for my life out there, I will fight for my life." I said, "If this guy starts killing me, man," I said, "don't be afraid to come in the ring." I said, "Because I don't know what's going to happen." But we got out there, and it was stiff all the way through. And Brock was very safe, though, and I will tell him that, even though he was upset. And actually, he was very respectful after that. It was almost like one of those things, because I got in the ring, and like he'd lay into me, I'd lay right back into him. He was really respectful to me after that too, just because it was one of those things like I did fuck him up, but I wasn't afraid of him at the same time. So that's a little bit of the story of Brock Lesnar too, though, how he changed, because he got so much so quick, and there were a lot of guys that really helped him out. And when you have guys like Taker putting you over, man, and then you're beating Taker 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring in his match in Hell in a Cell, and then you want to leave this huge push and this huge guaranteed contract, and being a stable of the company to go play football.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of guys that are unhappy with you.
Especially when he's coming back now, so we'll see what happens.